Hello and welcome to Tropical Bonsai episode 3. This episode is going to focus on my pink Bougainvillea that you've seen previously in episode 1. This tree has been growing extremely fast in my full sun backyard, and within a few months of getting it into a bonsai pot, it's already time to do some initial pruning and get it back into shape. This is what the tree initially looked like when I took it home from Home Depot in January. And now you can see what it looks like a few months later in April, with some long leaders coming out in multiple directions, as well as a nice little bloom. I've been checking on these aluminum wires on and off, and it looks like they're just barely starting to bite into some of the bark. So I figured it was a great time to unwind those, as well as trim the tree back into its original shape. The faster a tree grows, the faster you can create ramification, and at this rate, we'll probably have a really nice tree in just a few growing seasons. Stick with me through the video, and you too will have the know-how to create beautiful Bougainvillea bonsai trees. So first what I'm going to do here is just trim off a little bit of excess roots coming out of the bottom. I'll just go with my hands. And this is just growing into the rock below them, where the pot is sitting. Okay, get that a little bit more cleaned up. Next what we're going to do is unwrap all the wire, and we can really see what we got. You can choose to unwrap bonsai wire from end to end, or you can just use your wire cutters and clip it off in little sections. I took the extra time to unwrap the wire fully here in hopes that maybe I can find some use for it and recycle it. Next I'm going to go ahead and just trim back this little accent plant. I think it's a succulent. You can see it's even flowering here a little bit if I can get my phone to go into the close-up mode. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this back. And it isn't very traditional to have stuff like this in a bonsai planting usually. But where I live, we don't get rain for half of the year, so it's kind of hard to find moss. And if you do find moss, it's pretty much never growing on dirt or anything that I could actually transfer to a bonsai pot. So sometimes it's nice to have like little accents or something to give the tree a sense of scale. Even if I haven't figured out how to get a nice little lawn of moss just quite yet. Next, it's time to continue sorting out the branch structure. I identified two that were coming out of relatively the same spot, so I had to make a decision on which one I wanted to keep and which one I wanted to cut off the tree. Generally, you want to cut off older branches and leave the newer, more malleable ones, but I actually did the opposite in this case. Next, I reapplied the wire that was pulling the lowest branch towards the ground. I probably could have left this and actually not undone it when I undid the rest of the wire, but there was no way to know if the branch had been sufficiently pulled until I actually took it off. Okay, so this is obviously going to be the new leader. What I think I'm going to do is probably take the bigger clippers and take this little piece of dead wood and shave this down also. So I think what I'll probably do is cut this up there. Alright, so the top's trimmed down. Here, I'll do this in two parts. Take this one first. Take this one down. And just take this one. This first cut, just make it a little bit more flush to the rest of the tree. Okay. And there we go. I made these cuts to sort out the complexity and some of the redundancies that occurs in this canopy. But even with only 2 working sessions so far on this tree, we're starting to get a really nice silhouette. A lot of that was probably how long it sat at the Home Depot lot, but I'm happy to take the hand off and continue working this tree. Here's what the finalized styling looks like. I definitely think it was a good decision to cut off that deadwood towards the top. The tree is looking nice and compact and also pretty nicely in scale, which it definitely was not with those super long leaders before I did this pruning. If you're really concerned about getting your bonsai to grow at the fastest rate, it probably is a good idea to actually cut off the flowers so it doesn't waste some of its energy into flowering as opposed to growing. But I really like the flowers and they really look nice in the garden, especially amongst the other bonsai trees, so I'm not going to be the type of person to cut all of them off. I left a good amount of them so I could enjoy. Here's one final look at the Bougainvillea. Still in the same pot. I added a little bit of volcano rock that I ordered. I think I'm going to try to start replacing the pea rock that I've been using with some volcano rock. I think it looks a little bit nicer, but looks like it's about time for us to go in, so I'm going to put this thing back and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.